Hi, my dear students. Pleasure to see you again and welcome you all to today's science class. In the previous class, we discussed about thunderstorms and what are the precautions we must take at the time of thunderstorms. Today, let us know how a thunderstorm becomes a cyclone. As we know that water requires heat when it changes its liquid state into vapor state. On cooling, the water vapor again changes into liquid form. Can you recall any experience to support this? Before cloud formation, the water takes up heat from the atmosphere and changes into water vapor. Then, the water vapor changes back into liquid in the form of raindrops. At that time, this water vapor releases heat into the atmosphere. This released heat in the atmosphere warms the air around. Because of this, more air rushes towards the center of the storms. This cycle repeats, which causes the formation of high-speed wind into the center of the storm with low pressure, which may cause cyclone. Then how can we define a cyclone? A cyclone is a large-scale air mass that rotates around storm centers of low pressure. Children, look at the board and read the definition of cyclone. A cyclone is a large scale of air mass that rotates around strong centers of low pressure. Then what are the factors which contribute to the formation of cyclone? Wind speed, wind direction, temperature and humidity. The center of the cyclone is a calm area called eye of the storm. Large cyclone is a violently rotating mass of air. Here we can see cyclone cause the formation of high-speed wind with low pressure. Okay. Thus, a thunderstorm changes into a cyclone. The cyclone has many names in different continents. The cyclone in American continent is known as hurricane, but in the countries of Philippines and Japan, it is known as typhoon. Children, what is the name of cyclone in American continent? Hurricane, and in Philippines and Japan, it is termed as typhoon. Okay. Children, next we can look the destruction caused by a cyclone. It can damage houses, telephone and other communication system, which may cause destruction in electric supply, and also it may cause sometimes uprooting the trees and plants. Sometimes these cyclones are accompanied by high waves, which may damage buildings and also push water to low land, which may cause flood situations, which will cause the destruction of life and properties. Along with the cyclone, sometimes we can also see another phenomena that is called tornado. Tornado means a dark funnel-shaped cloud that reaches from the sky to the ground. Most of the tornadoes are weak, but sometimes violent tornadoes can move the speed of 300 km per hour. Sometimes tornadoes are formed within the cyclones. Okay. What is tornado? Dark colored funnel shaped cloud formed from sky to the ground. That is called a tornado. Children, now let us look what are the effective safety measures by the government and other agencies. One is a cyclone forecast and warning services. Next one, rapid communication of warnings to the government agencies, the ports, fishermen, and to the general public. Another important safety measure is construction of cyclone shelters in cyclone-prone areas, and also the administrative arrangements for moving people to the safe places. The government or other agencies have to inform the present situations instantly to the public. Arrange the safety precautions or safety shelters for the people to move from prone area to the safe places. These are the very important effective safety measures by the government. Okay. Dear students, next we can look what are the actions on the part of people. We must pay attention towards warning broadcasts from time to time. That means in cyclone prone area, the people should be alert. They must know the weather forecast from time to time. Second one, in case of cyclone warning, we must stock necessary food items and medicines. If possible, move to a safe place. The fishermen should not venture into the sea during cyclone-prone areas. An important point we should remember, what is that? Cooperate with others in the community. The cooperation is very, very important. That already we seen at the time of flood. The last year we faced the flood and its destructive situations. Next one, help the rescue team. When we are living in a cyclone-prone area, we must be very cooperative and also helpful to others and move from that area into a safe place. Pay attention towards warning broadcasts from time to time. In case of cyclone warnings, stock necessary food items and medicines. If possible, we can move to a safe place and do not venture into the sea during cyclone-prone areas. Cooperate with others in our community and help the rescue team. These are the important actions on the part of people. Okay.
Cyclones generally occur in three stages: tropical cyclones, severe cyclones, and supercyclones. When the storm in a cyclone blows at a speed of less than 74 miles per hour, it is called a tropical cyclone. When it gets intense, and the speed is between 75 to 120 miles per hour, then it becomes a cyclone or a severe cyclone. When the speed increases for more than 120 miles per hour, it becomes a super cyclone. How are these cyclones formed? Where are they initiated? Hurricanes, typhoons, what are they? Let's see. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to DNA so that you don't miss out any of the new videos that we post. Cyclone is a general term used by meteorologists to describe any rotating, organized cloud that originate over waters. Cyclones, hurricanes, typhoons, one event but different names depending on the location. In the Atlantic and the Northeast Pacific, it is called hurricane. And in the Northwest Pacific, it is termed as typhoon, and in the South Pacific and Indian Ocean, it is called a cyclone. You can also classify them based on hemispheres, the northern ones as hurricanes and the southern ones as cyclones. There are also a few other differences in them apart from where they originate, like the cyclones are usually clockwise, but the hurricanes are usually counterclockwise. Where do these cyclones originate? When the atmospheric pressure is low over a large water body that is still and the temperature of the water is more than 26.5 degrees Celsius, then they form into a cyclone. Before getting into any deeper, let us understand what is atmospheric pressure in general terms. The density of air in our atmosphere differs from place to place. They are not the same everywhere. Atmospheric pressure is the weight of air acting against the surface of the earth along with gravity. Air in the atmosphere creates a pressure on Earth's surface called the atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is more on the Earth's surface, and as we move upwards, there is less amount of air and hence the atmospheric pressure decreases. When there is low atmospheric pressure on a large water body on Earth's surface, they turn into a cyclone. This process of thin air circulating, strengthening and developing into a cyclonic formation is called cyclogenesis. So how does it become a huge, stormy, cloudy cyclone? When the atmospheric pressure is low, the warm air rises to fill the gaps and the cold air goes down as they have moisture in it. The warm air, as it reaches the place, it becomes more warm and it rises rapidly, thus creating more gap. So the surrounding air rushes in to fill the place. These filling air travels at greater speed and from longer distances. When they reach the area, instead of filling the gaps, they start circulating and thus creating a spiral. After that, any air traveling to fill the gap has to join the spiral because the air cannot pass through the spiral directly. Usually, tropical cyclones range from 100 kilometers to 2000 kilometers in diameter. When a large amount of air is rushing in to fill the gap, they form huge cyclones and the spiral structure becomes larger and larger, penetrating the clouds and thus creating thunderstorms. Tropical cyclones can grow up to a height of 10 kilometers and they last from 3 to 7 days depending upon the speed of the storm, how far it is away from the land and how big it is. Cyclones usually fade away or die when they cross the land area. There is a misconception that the buildings and the other interruptions on the land surface act as a barrier stopping the cyclone. But that's not it. When the cyclonic storm crosses the land surface, the main source of the cyclone, that is the warm water, is taken away. Cyclones work with moist, warm air. So when it crosses a cold water surface or a land surface, they die. Since 957 AD, that is for almost 1000 years now, there has been at least 11,982 recorded tropical cyclones in the Atlantic, Pacific and the Indian Oceans. And so far, the largest ever recorded is a typhoon tip that occurred in 1979 in the South Pacific Ocean near Philippines, which was 2,200 kilometers in diameter with a wind speed of 190 miles per hour, that is 305 kilometers per hour. It lasted for almost 20 days, and this is said to be the largest and the strongest cyclone.
Some more points we have to remember. Do not drink the contaminated water in cyclone prone areas, and do not touch the wet switches or any other electrical appliances, and do not try to repair any electric supply at the time of wet condition. These all points we must know. Then also sometimes we may forget to do in proper situations. Act on time. There is one instrument which used to measure the wind speed. What is the name? Anemometer. The picture is given in the textbook. Anemometer is a device used to measure the wind speed. By using anemometer, the meteorologist measuring the wind speed, giving informations time to time. Children, the world of today is different. Here we have to remember satellites and radars. A cyclone alert or cyclone watch issued 48 hours advance in any of storms or any other natural disasters. They give us proper warnings about the nature and its changes. So, these advanced technology also help us to get the information about such natural disasters. Okay. Dears, today we discussed about the formation of cyclone, the destruction caused by it, and what are the precautions from the part of government, agencies, and from us. This is the time to wind up today's session. See you again with the new topics. Thank you.